Okay, this video is about the review for the products and the power rule. So if you have not done this review, take your time and go through. You can use your calculator and see how many you can do by yourself. And then I'm going to show you the answers. You can grade yourself, and then I'll do every problem, work them out for you. You can check and see which ones you missed and listen to the explanation. And then after you've watched the video, if you still don't understand, you need to ask for help. So if you haven't done the review yet, go ahead and pause the video and start the review. Okay, so the answers for the review are as follows. So pause the video, check yourself, and mark your paper up, see which ones you missed, and then watch the video and pay close attention to the ones that you missed so that you can improve on your mistakes. All right, number 1 says negative u to the third power v to the fourth times 2 v to the fourth. All right, so what we really have is a negative 1 here. And I don't need to fill in anything else. So I'm going to put together my like terms, or factors, exactly. And I got u to the third by itself, and then I have v to the fourth times v to the fourth. So don't forget the product rule is we're going to add the exponents. Okay, so this is going to be v to the eighth, u to the third, and then negative 1 times 2 is negative 2. And that'll be our final answer. And if we look there, it is letter A. Okay, number 2 says negative 2 u v to the third times 4 u squared v to the third. So if I go back through and I fill in, I have to fill in 1 here, and it looks like it's it. So now I'm going to put together what I can. I got negative 2 times 4. I got u to the first times u to the second. Then I got v to the third times v to the third. Okay. And I'm just going to simplify. Don't forget we're adding the exponents when in this product rule. So I'm going to keep the base and add the exponents. Keep the base, add the exponents. 1 plus 2 is 3. 3 plus 3 is 6. And then I keep my u and I keep my v. Now I actually have to work this out. Negative 2 times 4 is negative 8. Don't forget, always use your calculator if you are weak in your integers, because don't trust yourself if you consistently get them wrong. Make sure you're do them in your head first and then check yourself on a calculator. All right, let's circle the answer there. That was A again. Okay, number 3. Number 3 says 4x to the fourth times negative y x to the third. We have to go back through and fill in a 1, a negative 1 here, and then a 1 there. Actually, the y is not going to change because there's no other y's for it to go with, but we'll still write it. 4 times negative 1. Then we have x to the fourth times x to the third, and then we still just have this y here. And I can write a 1 there. It's not going to change anything. So 4 times negative 1 is negative 4. I'm going to keep my x and add my exponents. 4 plus 3 is 7. And then the y just stays. And I'm not going to put the 1 because they're not going to put the 1. But it is there, and it is B. All right, let's do number 4. Anytime that I'm going too fast, you need to pause the video and just catch up on your writing. Don't try to keep up with the video if you are having to look down at your paper and copy things down. Just pause the video. That's what they're for. So we're going to come back through and we're going to fill in anything that doesn't have an exponent. And we had 3 this time. We had x, x, and y. So I'm going to put my x's together. And I'm going to put my y's together. So I got x squared, because 1 plus 1 is 2. And then I'm going to have y cubed, because 2 plus 1 is 3. And that's going to be my answer. And that is D. All right, number 5, moving right along. Y to the 4th times negative x cubed y squared. So I'm going to go back through and I'm going to fill in a 1 here because it's really a negative 1. And actually I could fill in a 1 here because there's no number out front. So I really have negative 1 times 1. I have y to the 4th times y squared. And then I have this x cubed by itself. It's not going to change because there's no other x's, but I still need to write it. Negative 1 times 1 is negative 1. Y to the 4th times y squared is y to the 6th, because 2 plus 4 is 6. I left space because the x should come first. All of the answers should be in alphabetical order. So this x is actually going to come before the y. And let's look for our answer. What number was it? And it's the first one. And they actually wrote it in different order, so that's surprising. Usually the x always comes first, but it's okay. It's still the same answer. All right, number 6. We have negative 4a squared times 4ab. All right, I don't know why I left so much space there, but we need to put a 1 and a 1. And I think that's it. So let's put our 4's side by side. So we got negative 4 times 4. We have a squared times a to the 1st. And then we have b to the 1st. And I think I picked up everything. Yep. Okay. So negative 4 times 4 is negative 16. A squared times a to the 1st is a to the 3rd, because 2 plus 1 is 3. And then b to the 1st comes down. I'm not going to write the 1 because they're not going to write the 1, but it is there. And let's look for our answer, and sure enough, it's D. Okay, let's do 7. I think I can fit 7 on this page. Number 7, we have x to the 4th, y to the 3rd, times negative 3 x to the 4th. Okay, I'm going to fill in a 1 here, and I think that's it. Looks like it's good. So we got 1 times negative 3, and then we have x to the 4th times, x to the 4th, then we have y to the 3rd. So look in here, I have 1 times negative 3, it's going to give me negative 3. X to the 4th times x to the 4th is going to be x to the 8th, because 4 plus 4 is 8. Then we have y cubed just comes down. It doesn't change because there's nothing to change it. And that is negative 3 x to the 8th, y to the 3rd, which is B. All right, time to change the page. And I have number 8. So I have negative 2 m squared times 2m cubed n cubed. And I don't need to fill in anything. Everything's good. I don't need to have any 1's anywhere. So I'm just going to rewrite. I got negative 2 times 2. I have m squared times m cubed. And then I have n cubed. All right, so I'm just going to multiply. 2 times 2 is 4. Negative 2 times 2 is negative 4. And then I keep my m and add my exponents. 2 plus 3 is 5. And then this doesn't change because there was nothing there to change it. So that's the final answer. Negative 4, m to the 5th, n to the 3rd. And that is B. Okay, number 9. We have 4 a to the 4th b cubed times negative 2 b squared times negative a to the 3rd b to the 4th. Okay, now we're starting to get a little bit more difficult. So let's fill in anything that we need. We need a negative 1 here. And it looks good. Okay, so I have 4 times negative 2 times negative 1. So there's my 3 numbers. Then I have a to the 4th times a cubed. Then I have b to the 3rd times b to the 2nd times b to the 4th. Okay, so now I have everything grouped together, and I can check myself. I can say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, I picked up everything. This is going to be, let's multiply these two together first. Negative 2 times negative 1 is going to give me a positive 2. And then 4 times 2 is 8. So that first product will be 8. Then we have a to the 4th times a cubed. So I'm going to keep my base. 4 plus 3 is 7. Then I have 3 b's here, so I'm going to keep the base and add the exponents. 3 plus 2 is 5, and 5 plus 4 is 9. So that is the final answer for that one, and it looks like it is D. Okay, number 10. All right, we got negative 2 x to the 4th y squared times 3 x to the 4th y to the 4th times negative 2 x y squared. All right, let's go back through and fill in anything that needs it. We have 1 here, and I think that's it. All right, we'll put all of our like factors together. So we got negative 2 times 3 times negative 2. Then we have x to the 4th times x to the 4th times x to the 1st. A lot of kids would drop this off, so make sure you pick it up. That's why we write the 1 in, so we don't drop it off. Okay, then we have y squared times y to the 4th times y squared. All right, now we're just going to multiply. You can use our calculator if you want to. I'm going to multiply negative 2 times negative 2 first. That's going to give me positive 4. Then I take positive 4 times 3, and I get 12. Then I have 4, 4, and 1. So I had to add 4, 4, and 1. 4 plus 4 is 8, plus 1 more is 9. Then I have y squared, y to the 4th, and y squared. So 2 plus 2 is 4, and 4 plus 4 is 8. That's that. And there we go. So far, so good. Now we're switching over, and we're doing the power rule. So let's look at it. Number 11. It says u to the 4th, v squared, and everything is being raised to the 4th power. So don't forget the power rule. It says keep the base and multiply the exponent. So I'm going to keep the u, I'm going to keep the v, and I'm going to multiply the exponents. So 4 times 4 is 16, and 2 times 4 is 8. And that is the answer. So let's look for it. And sure enough, there it is. Okay, number 12. It says, okay, we're gonna have a number here. 2x squared, y squared, and everything's being raised to the 4th power. So let's fill in. We don't have an exponent on the 2, so we need to write it in. So I'm going to keep the base. So I'm just going to rewrite my bases. I'm going to keep my 2, I'm going to keep my x, and I'm going to keep my y. Now I'm just going to multiply all of those. So 1 times 4 is 4. 2 times 4 is 8, and 2 times 4 is 8. The only thing left to do is to figure out what 2 to the 4th power is. Well, 2 to the 4th power is nothing more than 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. 2 times 2 is 4, and 2 times 2 is 4, and 4 times 4 is 16. Then I'm going to bring down my x and my y, x to the 8th, y to the 8th. Final answer. So let's find it on our page, and there it is. Okay. Number 13. Oh, number 13 is one of the weird ones. I don't even know what to say. I don't know why it generated these. There's a couple of them. It doesn't do anything. Like, it's y to the 3rd, but it's not being multiplied by anything. So the answer is just y to the 3rd. I'm not even going to bother writing that one down. So we're going to skip to 14. And 14 says, I'm just going to rewrite that so that there's no chance you can't read it. 14 says 4x squared, y cubed, and everything's being raised to the 3rd power. So I'm going to fill in an exponent here. And I'm just going to rewrite my bases here, 4, x, and y. Now I'm going to go back through and multiply. 1 times 3 is 3. 2 times 3 is 6. And 3 times 3 is 9. Now I have to actually figure out what this value is. And 4 to the 3rd power is 4 times 4 times 4, which is 16 times 4, which is 64. Then I bring down my x to the 6th, y to the 9th. Oops. And that's my answer. Okay, number 15 and 16 are both the weird ones. You will not have these on your test. I'm sorry. All right, we're down to the home stretch. We got 4 problems left. All right, 17 says 2x y squared, and everything's being raised to the 3rd power. So I need to write my exponents in here. And I'm going to keep my bases. And then I'm going to multiply. 1 times 3 is 3. 1 times 3 is 3. And 2 times 3 is 6. So the only thing I have to actually figure out is what 2 cubed is. Don't forget that 2 cubed is just 2 times 2 times 2. 2 times 2 is 4. And then 4 times 2 is 8. So 2 times 2 times 2 is 8. And then I bring down my x cubed and y to the 6th, and that's my final answer. So here it is. Number 18. I have 2x squared, y cubed, and everything's being raised to the 4th power. I need to fill in my 1 here. And I'm going to keep my base. I'm going to keep my 2, going to keep my x, I'm going to keep my y. Now I'm just going to multiply. 1 times 4 is 4, 2 times 4 is 8, and 3 times 4 is 12. The only thing I have to do is actually figure out what 2 to the 4th power is. And you can use your calculator. There's nothing wrong with using your calculator. 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 2 is 4. We're going to multiply, and we get 16. So x to the 8th, y to the 12th. Final answer. And there it is, C. All right, 2 left. Number 19. And we have x squared, y to the 4th, and everything's being raised to the 4th power. We don't need to rewrite anything or fill anything in because there's nothing missing. So we got 2 times 4 is 8, and then 4 times 4 is 16. Final answer. I like them better when they don't have numbers. Everybody always says, I understood math until letters were put in, but I disagree completely. I think the variables are much easier. Look at all the work we had to do when we had real numbers. We had to multiply. When we don't have real numbers and we just have variables, it's actually a lot easier. So I don't know what people are talking about when they say things like that. I would rather work with variables. Whoops, that's 2, not a 12. Okay, so we have, I'm going to keep my x and keep my y. Then we have 2 times 4, which is 8, and then 2 times 3, which is 6. And that is our final answer. So x to the 8th, y to the 6th. All right, so you should have had a lot of practice by now, especially if you're actually working these out and not just watching a video, which if you are, you're really robbing yourself of a good education because you need to work them out for yourself. If you still have questions, I will answer any questions, but you need to show your work.